God called me into ministry by this verse from Haggai 2:23. I will make you like my signet ring, for I have chosen you, declares the Lord Almighty. As soon as this verse hit me, I resisted His call in my life. And then God continued to speak to me from John 20:21, saying, again, Jesus said, peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you. Since then, the journey began with Jesus.
Hi, beloved ones of God. I just would love to share what God has put in my heart. And God was speaking to me regarding God Himself being our defense. And many times, due to human tendencies, we don't let Him or allow Him to be our defender or our defense. And so He was taking me through these examples from the Bible on different characters, and He was showing me how when they didn't strive to defend themselves, how God in time took care of them. If you see from Old Testament, from the life of Joseph, his own brothers betrayed him. They sold him. They wanted to murder him. But if you see Joseph's life, it never appears, or at least the scripture never talks about Joseph murmuring, complaining, or grumbling on what his brother did to him. He didn't dwell on it. And God was saying, whenever we are murmuring, grumbling, complaining, or revisiting the hurts that has happened to us, revisiting the betrayals, we miss the moment. We miss the now moment in our life, and we go to the past and we get stuck there. But Joseph's breakthrough was because he was dwelling in the now moment. And because he was in the now moment, he was able to grab the opportunities that was present in front of him for the breakthrough. Imagine, he is in the prison, he is in the pit, and that also he was misjudged, he was mistreated, he was blamed, there was a blame put on him. And if you notice, when he went inside the pit, he was busy with his gifting of dream interpretation. And when people were dreaming left and right around him, he was interpreting them. He was not like, my life is, I'm in a pit, I'm in a prison, my life is no good, look at all the things that has happened to me, my brothers betrayed me, now I come into a foreign land and this blame is upon me, why do I care, why should I live, what is this life worth for? And if he was in this mode, he would not have been present for the interpretation of others' dream, because he didn't dwell on what has happened in terms of hurts, pains, regrets, rejection. He was able to take care of interpreting the dreams that others were having. Basically, he was using his gifts of what God has given, and he was present in the moment. Because of that, he was able to have his breakthrough. Even if you look at the life of Mary, if you see Mary during those days, this is the time in which, if you're unmarried and if news spread that you're pregnant, the only thing that happens to you is death. And even during those times, it is not recorded anywhere that Mary took it on herself to prove her innocence, or she wanted to make sure that her image is not damaged, her reputation is taken care of. None of this Mary struggled or strived. But whereas when she rested in God's promise, when she rested in what He has promised over her, when she opened herself to God, God took care of her. God made sure that there was honor and glory upon her life. Even when it comes to Jesus, Jesus selected all the 12 disciples. One of them was betraying Jesus. He knew ahead of time that it is Judas who is going to betray him. But knowing Judas' heart didn't bother him. He didn't lose his sleep over Judas' upcoming betrayal. And also, if you notice, he being a leader, Jesus being leader of the 12 disciples, it's never mentioned that he bothered to mention about what was in Judas' heart, what he was trying to do. He didn't create any kind of divisions. Thereby, he didn't allow, or he didn't permit for any kind of gossip. It's because God's heart was open to what God had for him. He cried out to God for help. It was God who consoled him. And if you see after the cross, there was everlasting glory that was awaiting God. So yeah, that's what God was saying. Mahima, in our human tendency, in our human need to protect our image, to protect our reputation, to protect ourselves from the blame, or to clear those blame off, we struggle. We take efforts to make sure that we explain, and we try to all this. In the process of trying and doing all this effort, instead of protecting, we damage the relationship, we damage furthermore, because people who are bound to misjudge you, misinterpret you, misunderstand you, mistreat you, they're going to see it from their angle. And we are here very busy trying to protect ourselves. But here God is speaking. He's saying, my dear child, my beloved child, can you rest in the fact that I am your defender? Will you allow me to defend you? Will you allow me to protect your image? Will you allow me to protect your reputation? And he's also saying, if in life, if it is true that we by our own self has damaged, or we ourselves have done some mistake, God is saying, take courage. I am a God who rescues you. I am a God who saves you. I am a God who knows how to redeem you from those mistakes. Even if you have done willfully or knowingly, unknowingly, if you have fallen in a relationship where you are the person who have wronged the other person, if you are the one who has hurt the other person, God is saying, take courage. I can rescue you from that. I can restore you from that. I can restore that. So take courage. Either if you are the person who has done this, or if you are the victim of something that has wrong happened to you, God is saying, take courage. Allow me to be your defender. Allow me to be your defense. So yeah, that's what God has been sharing to me, and I hope that this small message has spoken to your heart and uplifted your spirits. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Have a great day.